Hi, today I want to welcome you to another episode of Waste Management. As you can see, we have someone here practicing something that we're going to learn about. Perhaps for a little more information, Noemi, can you come and join us, please?
Well, hello everyone, how are you?
So what's going on?
Well, we are very excited to share with everyone one of the amazing classes that we offer for our students and employees, student, faculty, staff at our college here at Miami-Dade College North Campus. This is yoga. So we are very excited because this is an amazing activity to get, really be mindful. And we have the best person explaining a lot more detail for us, which is Diana from Body4Yoga. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. Hello. So our yoga studio, Body4Yoga, is very fortunate to be part of the Miami-Dade College North Campus. And we're able to be here twice a week offering yoga classes to staff as well as students and faculty. So which is really great because it lets you have an opportunity to really get connected with yourself, reset your day-to-day activities and kind of find a little more clarity, a little bit more balance, and a little bit more calm and peace in your everyday life.
Okay, I have a question. You're going to be talking about yoga today. What is yoga?
So yoga basically is a mind-body connection through movement. So unlike regular exercises where you're just going to the gym and you're pressing the weights and you're doing a bunch of stuff, everything that you do is done with mindful breath. So you're being very connected, mind, body, spirit. Every movement, every breath is creating positive energy, positive flow, and each and every actual posture actually benefits the body in different ways, whether it helps decrease your blood pressure. Some postures actually work specifically for helping if you're diabetic, to create the natural insulin back into your body. So everything has its balance and its purpose.
Okay, so you're saying yoga is it more exercise, more spiritual?
So it's a little bit of everything, or a little bit of both, I should say. So when for example, we have a yoga studio, and in our practice at the class, we'll see the people that are there for more mindful intention, and they're moving more about their breath, and some people are taking it more into an athletic spot. So they're able to lunge a little lower, they're extending their arms, they're holding their poses a little bit longer. And then there's some people that are just really there to kind of connect with themselves, and you'll see that they're maybe modifying their poses, which is a great thing to be able to do, because that means that the yoga practice isn't just for those that are very super athletic or those that are super fit or flexible. It's actually for everybody, because every pose allows you to modify. It's for every age group. We have kids doing it at the studio. We actually have even grown-ups from, 50, 60, 70 years old that come to class, and they're modifying the way they can so that they're still getting all the benefits that they need to get.
Okay, so I know when I go to the gym, I'll either lift weights or do cardio. So I'll increase weight when I get, stronger.
Correct.
Run faster when I, get more stamina. How does that relate to yoga? Can you possibly show us a progression from basic, which would be me, to you perhaps?
Yes, absolutely. So like I mentioned, everything has modifications. So we're going to have Alex here from one of our instructors at a yoga studio, Body4Yoga. She is going to be doing a full sun salutation. She's going to first do it modified. So she's going to start at the top of her mat, inhaling her arms up over her head. She's going to exhale and fold forward, but it doesn't matter if she doesn't touch the ground. She's just going to go as far as she can. She's going to inhale into a flat back with her fingertips right at her shins. Exhale, fold. And then instead of jumping back, she's just going to step out into a plank pose, lowering her knees to the ground first, slowly allowing her body to come down, using her own body weight slowly and adjusting as necessary. Inhaling into a upward facing dog or cobra, thighs on the ground, and then back into a downward facing dog.
Is that considered basic?
So that's your modification. So let's say now we're going to take it up a notch. We've already started practicing for a while, and we're a little bit physically stronger to hold more of our own weight. So instead of walking forward, now we're jumping forward to the top of the mat. Inhaling, arms all the way up. As you exhale, hands come all the way down to the ground into a forward fold. Into a flat back, fingertips still on the ground. Exhaling, folding forward, jumping back into a chaturanga. Upward facing dog, thighs never touch the ground, and then back into a downward facing dog. Heels actually pressing down to the ground as you become more flexible and a little bit more able to do it.
Okay, now I've noticed with this, I know some people
Yes.
that couldn't even do the beginning step.
Okay.
Is there anything more basic than it? Let's suppose you have a person that's never exercised before.
Absolutely. So we can do chair yoga, as a matter of fact, that you're doing the entire practice sitting on a chair, where you're sitting tall on your chair, you inhale your arms up, and you just fold forward, bringing your hands towards the ground.
Can you use her to show us
yes.
so we can see?
Absolutely. Noemi, maybe you can help me and be my my exhibit here. Exhibit A. Perfect. So sitting up tall, your feet flat on the ground, and your feet are going to be hip width apart, so it allows you kind of a little bit more movement.
Okay.
Inhale your arms up over your head, and as you exhale, fold forward, slowly just melting right over those thighs. Bringing the hands down towards the ground, and if they don't touch, it doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
Inhale, bringing the hands to the knees, and slowly into a flat back. Inhale, looking forward and up. Exhale, fold right back down once again. And then slowly roll the spine up nice and slow, as if you were stacking one vertebrae at a time. Beautiful. And then
works. It really works.
it's the exact same benefit. You feel the exact same parts of your spine lengthening. The other great thing about using a chair for modifications is, if you would stand up for me, Naomi, and you can go to the behind the chair, and standing tall, using the chair, just step the right foot back, coming into that lunge, so you're no longer worrying about your balance. You're able to hold yourself steady. And then once you bring that heel down to the ground, go ahead and release the chair, left hand forward, right hand back. Into a warrior two. Yes, but you know that you have the chair. If you need to, if you feel like you're losing your balance, you can always have that to count on. And then slowly bringing both hands back to the chair and hopping that right foot forward. So you have a lot more balance. You don't have anything else to worry about. We also use different props at the studio, whether it's straps or blocks, so it really helps you modify your practice, and it helps you grow, so you're not worried about, oh, I'm not being aligned because I can't do it. No, you're still aligned. You're going to do it to your ability, and slowly with progression, you're going to get a little bit better, a little bit more flexible. You know, it's funny because one of the things that people usually say is, I don't want to go to yoga because I'm not flexible. The thing is, though, you come to yoga so you become flexible. It's like saying, I'm not going to take a shower because I'm dirty. Well, that's why you take a shower. Same concept. Yes, same concept.
And this, if I may add something, one of the things that I started doing yoga too. Once Diana brought her amazing talents here with her instructors, I said, let me try it out, because people ask me, how is it? So I want to be able to, for anything that we offer here, to be able to say personally, this went, like how it works, I can really explain it. And a lot of questions that I get, especially for faculty that actually ended up joining us, which is amazing, and I'm loving to see them here, not just our students,
Sure.
is I have zero balance. I need to work on my balance. What can I do? And I'm telling you, it starts with like, oh my gosh, I can barely lift a toe up from the floor. Mm-hmm. And then let me do the tree and all that, and just challenging again the different steps. And of course, Diana's the expert explaining this, but it's not just the flexibility, the balance. And as we age, as we know, our balance goes very fast. That's why we fall, and this is where the hips problems and all that. So it's just, and I've seen some of our professors, they have maybe, some of our members had maybe some hip issues that they need to, they're not as, strong or flexible, and simply being able to do some modifications, they see the benefits just simply doing the yoga and the modifications that the instructor actually offers to that.
Just leading right off of what you're saying, yoga truly is something that everybody can do. The most important thing, whether you're going to a studio or you're coming here to the college, is let the instructor know what your challenge is. If it's, listen, I have a new knee, I have a hip replacement, let us know. Trust me, we can modify you and we can get you to practice, and you will be surprised how much stronger your muscles will get. We have clients right now at the studio, members that do have new hips, and with our practice, little by little, they've gotten so much more ability to kind of stand back up, no longer walking with a limp, and they've gotten so much more improvement. So it truly is for everyone. Just let us know how we can help you, and we can.
Good. No, it sounds good. I mean, like I said, I've never done it. When you mentioned this, I was like, yes, I'm interested, because I always do the standard weightlifting, the standard running,
Yes.
all that type of stuff. And this, then you were saying it's more spiritual, more spiritual?
It is, well, It depends on where you want to take your practice. I want to say the spiritual part is more about personal growth, being yourself open. So a lot of times people are like, oh, it's again, I don't know about my religion if I'm supposed to be doing yoga. Yoga is more about
Really?
internal healing, an internal journey. So whatever you practice, it just makes you more mindful about being open to whatever your own path is. It's funny because you were saying that you work out and you do the gym.
Yeah.
Yoga, actually, we get a lot of athletes at the studio. And one of the reasons is the breathing alone in yoga builds your endurance. So we have runners that all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm running faster, because it really helps in other things that you're doing in other aspects. So not just the flexibility and being able to hold the poses.
So it can make me younger.
Yes, it's basically a fountain of youth.
And the other thing, the same idea going into the breathing is the stress management. I think today in the world we have so much stress. And again, benefiting our students and employees, again, going back to here at Miami-Dade College, one of the reasons was offering something that helps that whole mindfulness, being able to clear your mind, giving yourself some tools. The way I look at it is giving some tools that you can use not just in a yoga and in a class, but at home yourself. How to clear your mind, how to give your brain a breather, from the daily stress, getting ready for exams, right? Middle of exam time. That's so stressful for a student. Giving us some tools how to. Same goes for our faculty, staff. Just all of us can use a little moment to catch our breath. And I think this is something that's been amazingly helpful. And just the feedback that I receive from students and employees that are using our facility, and I can testify myself since I started doing it, it's extremely beneficial. It just really gives you literally a moment for yourself to kind of block everything, all the stresses out, and just have a moment for yourself. And then I think it's empowering, the power of being able to harness your mind, and just giving that moment so you empty it, so you're able to put in more information to the studying and everything else that you do.
Okay, you convinced me. Sounds good, sounds wonderful, sounds nice. I want to do it now. What do I need?
You just need to have an open mind and a willing heart. That's pretty much all you need. You dress in whatever attire
First
you
of
would
all,
go to the
I
gym.
notice you're all barefoot.
Yes, we are barefoot because we're on our yoga mats and we don't want to slip and fall. That's the main thing. So a lot of times, if you have your socks on, unless they are meant for yoga socks that have little grippies at the bottom, you want to be barefoot so your feet are actually connected. Plus, I'm going to tell you, find a lot more grounding and balance when your feet are barefoot into the ground, whether you're on the ground or even on the yoga mat. Bring in water because people don't realize you're still moving your body around. You're going to get thirsty. So bring in your water, whether you're coming here to practice or in a studio, always bring your water. And then you need a yoga mat. And then it depends on where you're going.
Do you need a mat?
Yes.
What happens if it's carpeted floor? If I'm going to do it at home, let's suppose I want to do it at home.
You could do it at home, and let's say you have the carpeted floor. So your mats are usually meant for you not to slip. Plus the fact you have your hands on your ground, you're bringing your whole entire body down, your face on the mat. I don't particularly want to put my face and lay it on the ground. So for that reason, I have my yoga mat, and it's also meant to let you not slip. So be very cautious when you're purchasing one. Make sure it is a non-slip because there's also different kinds of mats. People don't realize there's Pilates mats where it's a little bit different.
Okay, so you recommend barefoot, a mat, dress, no dress code.
Yeah. Dress however you're comfortable. You go to the gym and try to make sure that you don't go eat something, fill your stomach up and go practice because every time you fold forward, that's going to be really hard. So have eaten at least 45 minutes to an hour before, make sure you've digested your food. Okay,
I've seen videos on TV, you can buy, and all this yoga. What's the benefit of going somewhere as opposed to me doing it at home?
So you're at home, you're doing the practice, you're following the instructor, and you think you're doing it right, but there's nobody there to tell you, hey, you need to modify, or the TV is not going to be able to tell you what you're at in your own practice. So the great thing about being in a studio and in a class environment is the instructor's there watching you. They're there to make sure to modify you as necessary and to give you the right direction so that you can take your practice and actually grow with it without hurting yourself. And one of the things also, it just kind of puts you in a different mindset, able to practice, that you're more in the present moment with every movement. And that same thing that you learned in class about how to be mindful and how to be in the moment, you take that to your day-to-day life. And that's the other reason why it helps with stress as well, is that same tools that you've learned of how to be present on your mat, you understand now how to be present, whether it's in your home, with your family, whether you're at work. So it's something that you take with you beyond the mat.
Would yoga be better in the morning to wake up and get going, or at night to calm down?
Whenever you have time. A lot of times people will make it overcomplicated and think that there's a specific time of day when you have time. And you can do a practice. Most classes are about an hour long, maybe a little bit more, but you can do, let's say you only have 15 minutes at home. Most of our instructors and a lot of our members have their own personal practice that they do at home, and they just have 15 minutes. And it's just do what you can do, stretch your body out. Especially as we get older, we have a big issue with your sciatic and you have issues with your back. So just remember to stretch and give yourself time. Give yourself the time and attention that you deserve. We're gonna do a pose called pyramids. And what this pose actually does, just to give you kind of an idea of the benefits that yoga has, where she's gonna bring her right leg back, line up her heels, and make sure that her hips are squared facing forward. She's gonna bring her hands to her waist, pull the elbows back, and take a deep breath. And as she exhales, keeping her knees straight, she's gonna fold forward. As she folds forward, her back is nice and strong and straight. And what that does is actually squeezes your pancreas. It helps you create the natural insulin in your body naturally. You're here about 5 deep breaths. You do this every day on each side, and every single pose has something that it brings to you that helps you in your own body. So that's one of the poses that we can do. And mind you, so she's folding forward, she's a little bit more flexible, she can come down a little bit deeper. If she was not as flexible, she can use blocks to assist herself, to keep herself elevated higher. She doesn't have to come low. And as a matter of fact, let's say we were doing chair yoga, we would be standing in front of the chair where the seated part is, and we would bring our hands to the chairs and fold forward just on the chair. So it's not about how far you can go.
Us?
So you're gonna stand on this side in front of the chair.
Okay, here?
Yep, right here.
Okay.
Perfect. Bring your right leg back. Perfect. Keep the knees straight. Close up your stance a little bit more so that not too far away, a little bit more together. Perfect. Both knees are straight. Straighten out both knees. Perfect. Yes. Inhale. Bring your hands to your waist. Take a deep breath, and as you exhale, come into a flat back. Just start to fold forward a little bit, and then bring your hands to the chair when you're ready. So that's it. It holds your balance. You don't have to worry about anything else. And you're more flexible already. So you're able to come down lower where someone else would have to keep their arms really strong and straight and just to sturdy themselves. So once you're here and you're using the chair, you're able to kind of adjust, bring the hip forward so your hips are squared. You're adjusting your body. You're feeling the lengthening through your whole spine. And you're letting yourself kind of sink into the pose, still getting the same benefit of exactly what Alex was doing.
Yeah, I found it interesting. You were saying what the pose she was doing is good for your pancreas,
Yes.
diabetes, insulin.
Yes.
Do you ever do classes just for people with diabetes that they can possibly do these
That's
positions?
when privates come into play. So people a lot of times will rather have a private lesson. They'll tell us, this is what I'm working with, whether it's I'm dealing with anxiety, I'm dealing with this, and we create the practice specifically to their needs and their goals.
Okay.
So that's more of a personal one-on-one
Yeah, I
class.
was just thinking, I mean, almost
No, yeah.
everyone has diabetes.
We've had people that,
Yeah.
for example, had a new knee. And so a lot of what we were doing was making sure that he was getting stronger so that he can start moving around a little bit more ability without limping, so each person does it for their own specific reasons.
No, I've heard of yoga where people do it in a hot room.
Yes.
And forget about the naked routine. That scares me, even to think about.
We don't offer that one.
Thank God. No, I don't understand.
But we do offer hot yoga. So the hot yoga has its own element. We have heaters in the room, and the room is probably about 95, 98 degrees. Your muscles will loosen up a lot more. The thing about what we always try to be mindful about that is people will be a little bit more flexible, and we don't want them to push themselves or overexert themselves because they'll be able to. But it really helps kind of just let your body warm up a lot quicker so you can get into your practice. The sweating just kind of helps get rid of all that stuff you want to get rid of.
Must smell really good in there, huh?
Well, we have incense and essential oils and all that good stuff to counteract all that.
Good.
Yeah, well, here obviously we started as a beginner class, okay? And the instructors that Diana was kind enough to have for us to do the classes, even though we have new people coming into the class every time, they're able to do a combination. So even if you're brand new, it's your first day, you're still able to do things. And if you've been there for months, you're still challenged enough to do it. So what I enjoy about it is, and again, the feedback that I receive is that it's such wide ranging. You know, you don't have some specific class here that we offer, but you can modify it in so many different ways, each movement that you do, that it's really, it could be a beginner, but you also could be somebody that's already got into a little bit of more challenging. You're looking for that little challenge.
I mean, I must admit, I was here, I saw you do a whole hour beforehand, and it's too bad we don't have a block for people to see how much easier that one block makes it. I was truly amazed in watching that just giving her the little height made a world of difference.
It makes a big difference. First of all, it makes her feel more comfortable because she's able to do the poses, but also it helps so that she can actually build her practice because she's working on her alignment and she's doing it the right way. Where let's say if you can't touch the floor, you're going to bend your knees. Well, the pose doesn't really offer for that bending the knees. So the best way would be to create the right alignment so you're able to extend. But most of, like for example, we have a pose we call Warrior 3, and you can do that pose.
Let's see.
Yeah, we could do that pose in a modified version as well as pushing it through. So if we're modifying the pose, we're going to bring one leg back, and you're going to lean forward as your arms extend back or forward. You're going to lunge the front knee and slowly pick up the chest a little bit higher and hold it right there as if you were gliding through the air. You don't have to actually pick up. Someone who's already gotten a little bit more in their practice can actually float the foot up off the ground and take that pose to a much higher level.
What do you have for a headache?
Forward folds are really good in downward facing dogs.
Show us.
So the downward facing dog, she's going to go ahead and come back out.
Well, people get headaches.
Everybody does, yes. And I'll tell you, yoga in itself is great for headache because a lot of times headaches are brought on by stress. And we don't realize it, and here we are, like, oh, I need to take all this medicine, and sometimes you just need to stop, shut off the noise, stop the distractions, stop the chaos, and just allow yourself to be in your own present moment. So in that downward facing dog, you can pedal your feet, you could bend your knees to modify, you don't have to come into the full pose even. And if you come into a forward fold, she's going to slowly bring her feet forward, whether she's going to hop or walk. And then she's going to let herself just kind of hang, allow the arms to kind of just hold onto her elbows and just relax her spine, relax her neck. A lot of times, most of our stress is held on our shoulders and our neck. So allowing ourselves to just kind of disconnect is the most important thing we could do for ourselves.
Okay, are there any modifications you can do for the chairperson for headache?
Absolutely. So the same way we did earlier, we did a forward fold. That's what you'd want to do on your chair. So inhale your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands to your thighs. Exhale, slowly fold forward. And just allow your head to kind of sink down nice and slow. Beautiful. Inhale, come into a flat back, slowly pressing the hands to the knees, lift the spine back up. And as you exhale, let's try crossing the hands over the legs and then slowly coming down, folding forward once again. Perfect. And this is a little bit more resting, so you're now allowing your elbows to give you a little bit more cushion, so you're not really pulling all the weight. But this is great not just for your headache, but also even if you have back issues. So it's great to kind of lengthen, it kind of allows you to pull right from the hips and lengthen the lower back.
Okay, so what else can a person do, let's say, for back then?
So for, let's say if you have any back issues, and this is a great pose to show not just on the chair, but also on the ground. So we're going to go ahead, for example, if we have a lot of people that come in with lower back pain or issues with their sciatic nerve. So if you sit with your legs crossed, bring your right ankle over your left knee. Like this. Just like that, nice. Perfect. And as you take a deep breath, sitting up tall, slowly go ahead and fold forward in this position. So this is basically pigeon on a chair. And then we'll show Alex doing pigeon on the mat. And you could feel it right at the lumbar spine and right at your sciatic, just pulling right through the hip. And the only thing about when you're doing, if you're going to be practicing at home, please make sure that you're doing it on both sides.
What do you mean on both sides?
You're going to cross your leg on your opposite direction.
Got it.
People tend to be like, oh, this side is the one that hurts. I'm just going to do it here.
Okay,
and it's really important not just to help the affected area, but keep the other side healthy as well. I did
Okay,
want to show
yeah,
you the pigeon pose, just so we have it right. So if you go ahead, you're going to notice she's going to bring her right leg forward. And just like she was, instead of sitting on the chair, her opposite leg is pulled back. And she can exhale and just fold forward right in front of that right leg. So it's pigeon on the mat versus on the chair. Again, you're able to kind of really stretch from the lumbar spine. You're able to pull it right from that sciatic nerve. If you have any issues, just remember that anytime you're doing anything, you warm up your body first. Don't go from, not having moved around and jump into this because you're going to hurt yourself.
One other thing I just have to ask you.
Yes.
You've been showing us, I assume, are basic moves, correct?
Yes, correct.
Can you show us something like wow, like when I think of, all that kind of stuff?
Absolutely, yes. So maybe we could do you want to go into extended side angle and bird of paradise? Yeah?
It sounds
Okay.
nice anyway.
It sounds pretty, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right, so that way you kind of get to see a little bit of how the modified and then the regular pose goes and how you can take
Terrific,
it
thank
into a
you.
whole nother pose. So let's go ahead and bring one of those legs forward. And we're going to first start in an extended side angle. So you drop the back heel and you're just going to peel that arm open, really lengthen, pull the arm up and over the head. So if someone, for example, is trying to modify, instead of coming into this pose, they're going to bring the right elbow to the right knee, allowing themselves not to melt so far forward, and you're in the modified version. If you're taking the pose to a higher level and you're really growing in your practice, you can bring it into a bind, which means that your left arm comes behind your back, your right arm comes behind you, and it slowly pulls forward. Now, if again, you're advanced and you want to take this even further, you can hop the back leg forward, bring the weight onto that strong straight leg, and slowly pull that right leg up nice and slow, taking your time, holding your balance, finding yourself slowly come up. And we didn't really let Alex warm up too much, so there you go, beautiful. And you could take it into bird of paradise. Much more flexible. We're not going to start there, obviously.
You wouldn't finish there.
So that's beautiful. Thank you, Alex. That's nice.
Okay, I am now impressed.
But Alex can also do headstands and everything else as well. So
Okay, let's bring it back down to my level, the chair.
Yes.
Now,
You
what
want
would
to try a few things?
No, I'd
I
rather
would
watch.
love-
Thank
I
you.
think it'd be great.
We can get you into a twist. It's a simple posture that you just kind of, just like that.
Yes. Why don't we have you do some nice...
What do I do? I sit
So
down?
you're going to sit on the chair.
I can do that.
See? That's
Okay.
perfect. All right. So, but now you're laying on the chair.
Wait, isn't this laying man old?
You're in your Savasana? All right, so your feet are going to be flat on the mat, feet hip width apart. We're going to inhale the arms up over your head,
When you
both
say
of your hands up. And then as you exhale, bring the left hand behind the chair and the right hand on the outside of your left leg. So you're going to come into a twist. There you go. So let's say, for example, that you're having issues with your digestive system.
Okay.
Anytime you do a twist, it's really helping. You're squeezing all your intestines. You're helping everything move through a little bit, flowing a little bit easier. So try to look over your left shoulder. Really fully pull into the twist. There you go. Perfect. Inhale, bring it back to center, and reach both arms right back up. And then exhale, twist to the opposite direction. Right arm behind the chair, left hand on the outside, and then look over that right shoulder. There you go. So the more you twist, the more you're going to squeeze all your intestines. So your goal is to eventually come into, I'm going to give the mic real quick to Noemi. And you're going to try to pull. There you, look at that, through you sitting up tall. So now you've actually come into a nice full twist.
Oh, okay.
And you could do this, if you noticed when we were videotaping earlier, you could see that they were doing this on their seated position on the mat, and you could do it also on the chair. And you
Okay.
can come back to center.
And they're fantastic to stretching out your back, especially when you sit in front of
See,
a computer
I can
for a
do
long
yoga.
time.
Yes, you
Exactly. Exactly.
So if people are not a student here, not a Miami-Dade faculty person or staff, they can always go to you, correct?
Yes, absolutely. They can come to the yoga studio. It's
And you
Body4Yoga.
Okay.
And you could check out our website, body4yoga.com, and the schedule is there. All the information is there. We offer first class free, so everybody's come in and try it.
And
Never
you have all
hurts to
kinds of
try it.
classes from,
Yes, we have,
from my chair to...
we have everything. We have yin yoga. We have a vinyasa
yogi there.
practice. Yes, we have heated classes, hot yoga. We also have yin yoga, which is much more meditative. We have a little bit. We have kids yoga, so a little bit for everybody. We also offer different classes, not just yoga. So Pyo, Pilates.
Okay, well,
power.
thank you. I hope this really opened your eyes and showed you there's a lot more to exercise than simply coming to a gym like I do, lift weights, run. But this has really opened my eyes. Thank you
Good,
very
I'm glad.
much.
I can't wait for you to come to the next class.
Like I said, it really opened my eyes, okay? Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Waste Management.